Let's do it. Hi, what's up? Hey, here's Sam Stilley of Amstill Roofing in Houston, right?
Yeah, excited to be here.
Yeah, what brought you guys here? You got some of the team here?
Yeah, so since we're about a half residential retail and a half storm, we always want to learn, and to win the storm is always a good opportunity to come out and pick out a few golden nuggets here and there.
Yeah.
Take it back to Houston and implement it into the company.
Oh, you actually have to implement it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Unfortunately, if you don't just implement it, nothing happens. A lot of people think they just learn it and it's gonna magically appear.
Yeah, right. There's so much at a conference like this. You want to make sure that you don't try to take in everything, but one or two things that can really fill the gaps in your business, right?
And that's what we tell all the sales guys. If you get one thing that you can implement on a day-to-day basis, you can see a dramatic return on your income.
That's awesome. That consistency of putting in that, I always compare it to going to the gym, right?
Yep.
You're not going to go to the gym and lift 500 pounds like day one, but you go every day and you're going to get stronger and better every day.
That's exactly right.
So you guys have grown a decent amount, right? We met last year in actually in Arizona again, so we've only hung out twice, and it's been in Arizona. You guys have been growing, right?
Last time since we met, we grew about 43% last year.
That happens when people meet me.
Is that right?
Yeah, you just start
I think it was the
growing.
magical water you gave me.
Yeah,
Hey, if you drink this, your business is going to grow.
Right, I mean, that's the best
And I was like, I guess I'll implement it and I'll drink it.
The best marketing trick I got.
That's
totally.
right. Now, we've had the past 3 years, 208% growth.
Wow.
And this year we're on pace to do another 35% growth, which has been our minimum growth level. So we should eclipse about 11.2 million this year, strictly in residential asphalt shingles.
Wow.
So
you guys stick to what you're good at. Yeah.
We're trying to adapt and learn a little bit of commercial. So our goal is to sell a 1.25 worth of commercial this year.
Okay.
And as strange as it sounds, in the first quarter we've already had about $1 million in commercial come in, but those are all asphalt residential too. So multifamily stuff.
Okay.
But it's exciting, and we're just trying to diversify our portfolio to have other streams come into the company.
Okay, fantastic. Are you going to branch out beyond Houston and other markets, or kind of focus on where you're at? Or?
So the goal is to grow the Houston to 50 million, because there is an obtainable market for that at less than 10% of the share, and then go to Dallas, San Antonio, and Austin, and have satellite offices, but all of them run through the main corporate office of Houston.
Okay,
so
perfect.
The goal is to get to past 100 million on an annual basis.
Awesome. So scaling it.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Now, are you guys a family business or?
Sure are. Okay. So my dad started back in '74.
Okay.
And then I was working for him for about 10 years, and then the past 3 years, I obtained ownership, and then this current year we're in 2020 is when he announced to let me lead the whole company, and he'd step back and just be in charge of production and kind of overseeing the back end stuff of maintenance vehicles and whatnot.
Oh, fantastic.
So it's been an interesting growth, and it's definitely unique working with family.
Yeah, well, I grew up in a family construction business as well, so I always like to kind of pick other people's brains about that, and it's fun. It's a great opportunity to have, but you don't just want to ride those coattails, right? You want to take that foundation and improve upon it and build upon it.
That's exactly right.
Build your own legacy, right?
It's interesting. All the staff that work at Amstill, there's 23 now. When I first started, there was 1. And,
wow.
Talk about it. They all have the joke that it's kind of like they came into a startup, but with a really good reputation.
Okay.
So when I came in the early years, when I was 16, 17 years old, we didn't have any systems and procedures, no CRMs, no scripts. It was truly the school of hard knocks.
Right.
But it's nice to have what we do now, and that's what's allowed us to grow, is because of those systems and procedures, to where it's essentially having a handbook for success in your specific position.
Right, that makes sense. Yeah, we have a lot of clients that are in that generational transition where it's second generation's coming in, the dad has started it, has the relationships, has a notebook as the CRM and everything, and that's the system. And now the new generation's coming in and systematizing and modernizing, and
and it's tough to have the older generation understand, hey, we need to go paperless. We need to wrap our trucks. We need to spend this money in marketing and advertisement, because back then it was just a few simple things. Right. A lot of door knocking, which there's nothing wrong with, and that will always have its place. But the future and the current right now is the digital space. And it is being in front of your client, like we talked about a year ago, farming, having them ready 6 months in advance, constantly putting your stuff in front of them, to when it comes time, you're on top of their mind.
Nice.
So, and that concept for a lot of the older generation is really new and hard for them to grasp. So for my father and I, there's a 40-year age gap. Okay. So I'm 27, he's 67. So you can only imagine the differences of what he's used to.
Yeah.
I remember when we got our trucks wrapped, I had to wrap my personal truck first for 6 months and prove that it would work before we wrapped any of the company trucks.
Wow.
And sure enough, now whenever we buy a truck, he goes, Sam, I couldn't imagine us not wrapping this truck.
Wow, that's awesome. He must be really proud.
It's been an awesome relationship for us.
Yeah, in a lot of those situations, like your father has those relationships probably, and you're younger, and you don't necessarily have that that Rolodex there. So that's why you have to get out there and do more marketing and brand building.
Absolutely,
right?
And with residential, it's a new client all the time. You know, we're lucky that we have we stand by our work and we do things correctly, which allows us to have a repeat client base. But the only problem is when you do a roof so well, they come back to you. You're 24 statistically for us for their second roof.
Wow.
So it's not like we're in Dallas, they're coming back every 5-6 years from a hailstorm.
Right.
So unfortunately it's not as a quick turnaround for their second roof, but that's okay because the interim, we try to build our revenue off referrals before we had all the marketing implemented with the advertisement we do.
Okay. So it's clear that you guys know your data. Like you touched on several different numbers in key performance indicators. Like you guys know your numbers. That's
I would
probably
say
key.
Pretty comfortable in them, yeah.
Okay. What's one daily habit that you have that's contributed to your success so far?
I think that it's waking up every day and knowing that someone else is trying to become better than the company at Amstill. And for that's my single driver, that I never want to be behind anyone, and I never want to be the second to know about technology or advancement of what's going on in our industry.
Yeah.
And I think that's been a constant push for me to want to be successful. And now that I have a staff that works with me, 23 people that work at Amstill, it's a growing desire to constantly be better for them every day that I wake up. So it's how do I not only provide for myself, but how do I provide for these 23 people, plus their families, and the people dependent upon them. So it's such a huge tree and the root system that's dependent upon one trunk, which is Amstill, which is, it's really unique. And that alone has allowed us to, for a driving force standpoint, to want to constantly be better.
Yeah.
And that's why it's important to know your numbers, how much your average lead costs, and your average ticket, and your gross margins, and what your closing percentages are, so you can look at these things and start to scale your business as you want with the money you put into it.
Perfect. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure your team is lucky to be working with you guys. Seems like you have an awesome thing going on, and only better things coming, right?
And we're all blessed.
All right. Awesome. Well, thanks so much for your time.
Thanks for having me.
Let you get some breakfast, and we'll see you soon.
Sounds good. Thank you.
So if you'd like to learn more about how to implement some of the things that we've been talking about here today, go to contractordynamics.com/learn, and we'll help you fill the gaps in your business from where you are right now to where you want to be. Talk to you soon.